The ceremony approaches. Donavan woke in the middle of the night, drenched in sweat. He had dreamed of drowning, not in water, but in silence. A heavy, suffocating stillness that pressed against his chest and filled his lungs. In the dream, he was surrounded by smiling faces, other winners clapping and nodding, their mouths moving but producing no sound. They moved to him in unison, their eyes glowing with a faint, pulsing green light. Donavan sat up, heart pounding. The room was pitch black. No light seeped in from under the door, no glow from the tablet on the nightstand. Even the air felt paused. He got up, pacing barefoot across the cold tile floor. His reflection stared back at him from the window, haunted, twitchy. The silence clung to his skin. Then, suddenly, the light snapped in. The tablet on the table lit up again, like a sleeping eye opening. Ceremony begins in 53 hours, 43 minutes, 17 seconds. Donavan stared at it. Then he spoke aloud. Why was everything off? No response. He walked to the door and tried the handle. Still locked. Please return to bed, Donavan. He recoiled. That hadn't happened before. The tablet flashed again. Rest is crucial to your transformation. His throat went dry. What transformation? The message vanished. At breakfast, he wasn't alone. The other winners had been gathered into a wide, sterile lounge. Glass walls, velvet furniture, fake smiles on security guards. There were about 20 of them, half men, half women, though Donavan knew the full 100 were somewhere in the compound. The moment he entered, he locked eyes with Sierra. She raised an eyebrow. Sleep well, champ? Donavan shook his head and joined her at the table. Weird dreams. You? Same, she said, except mine ended with someone standing in my room. His fork froze halfway in his mouth. What? She shrugged. Could have been the dream or not. Donovan's stomach twisted. You don't seem scared. Oh, I'm scared, Sierra said. I just hide it better. He nodded slowly, then leaned in. Do you think this is real? Like, is this really just about the lottery? Sierra took a sip of juice. My brother's best friend won 10 years ago. He sent 3 postcards, then nothing. Do you think he's dead? I think he's not the one who wrote those postcards. Donavan leaned back, trying to swallow the rising nausea. Jesus. Sierra glanced around the room. Watch the ones who act too happy, the ones who don't ask questions. Donavan followed her gaze. Across the room, a young man with perfect posture and a rigid smile was talking to 2 women. He looked like a campaign ad, clean-cut, glowing with fake enthusiasm. Who's that? Dylan, Iowa, Sierra said. Military background. Too eager. Donavan nodded. You think he's one of them? I think he's already been flipped. Later that day, the winners were led into a theater-like room where Secretary Langley stood beside a massive screen. Her presence quieted the room like a guillotine. Good morning, she said, her voice cold and smooth. You are the finest examples of your states, chosen not by wealth or power, but by fate. You've been selected for the greatest honor our nation can bestow. Images played on the screens, people smiling, city skylines, American flags, the Capitol glowing beneath fireworks, but the transitions were too fast, the smiles too wide. It felt artificial. Your role in the offering is symbolic, Langley continued. You represent cooperation. You represent unity. And in 3 days, your offering will be witnessed by millions. A murmur passed through the crowd. Donavan raised his hand. Langley's eyes settled on him like a snake eyeing a mouse. Yes, Mr. Reed. What exactly is the offering? He asked, voice steady. Langley smiled. It is peace between peoples, between nations, between worlds. Donavan frowned. Between worlds? Someone laughed nervously. Langley's smile grew sharper. Metaphorically, of course. Sierra muttered underneath her breath. Bullshit. Langley stepped closer. There will be discomfort. Transformation is never painless, but you were chosen because you are strong. Dylan, Mr. Iowa, nodded like a bobblehead. Others followed suit. Donavan felt a chill run down his spine. He wasn't in a ceremony. He was in a conversion. That night, the dreams returned, but this time they weren't dreams. Donavan saw flashes of something else, something foreign, something into his head, streaming into his head like a flood. Memories that weren't his, alien landscapes, a blue sun, voices in a language that reverberated in the bones, not the ears. He woke up gasping, hands clawing at his scalp. The mirror showed something impossible. For a moment, just a split second, his pupils were slitted. He stumbled back, heart racing, and then the door opened. A staff member stood there, holding a tray. Mr. Reed, you missed your psychological recalibration session. Donavan blinked. My what? Please, come with me. He hesitated. I didn't sign up for any now. They led him to a small white room with 2 chairs and a strange metal device hanging from the ceiling. It looked like a dentist's light crossed with a satellite dish. A man in a lab coat waited with a tablet. Have a seat, Mr. Reed. Donavan stood still. What is this? Routine calibration to ensure stability of mental alignment prior to transformation. That's not a real sentence. The man frowned. You're exhibiting resistance markers. That's normal, early integration stress, but we must proceed. Donavan backed toward the door. I'm not sitting in that thing. The man gestured. 2 guards entered, silent and armed. You can cooperate, or we can sedate you. Donovan's pulse pounded in his ears. He looked at the chair, then at the guards, then back at the chair. He sat. The device lowered. He woke up back in his room. No memory of the procedure, but something was different. His hands shook. His thoughts felt slippery. He couldn't remember his mother's face. He couldn't remember what his own voice sounded like, and that terrified him more than anything. The next day, during social hour, Sierra found him again. Her face was pale, jaw tight. They tried to flip me, she whispered. 3 hours of lights and noises and questions about my childhood. Donavan nodded slowly. I think it's starting to work. No, not yet, but it will. If we don't do something soon, we won't be us anymore. He looked around. Dylan and a few others were watching them. Donavan leaned in. We need to find out what this really is. Sierra smirked. Now you're thinking like a traitor. Not a traitor, Donavan said. A survivor. By the end of the day, they had a plan. Donavan would distract the staff during the next group session. Sierra would sneak into the staff wing. Sierra would sneak into the staff wing through the supply corridor she'd mapped out. She claimed to have seen a panel that didn't belong, one that shimmered like heat waves. Bet you $5,000 is alien tech, she said. I'm broke, Donavan replied. Then I'll owe you. That night, as Donavan faked a coughing fit and collapsed during meditation hour, guards rushed in. When they were focused on him, Sierra slipped away. When he saw her next, it was past midnight. She climbed through the ceiling panel of his room, breathless and covered in dust. She held up a small glowing orb. I found this in the restricted section. It's not human. Donavan stared. What does it do? She shook her head. Don't know. But when I touched it, I remember things. Things they try to erase. Donavan reached out. The moment his fingers brushed the orb, a jolt ran up his spine. Flashes, not dreams. Memories. Others, before him. Replaced. Silenced. Used. He gasped. Sierra nodded grimly. We're not the first. Donavan clenched his fist. But we might be the last.